So the talk is going to be pre-recorded, but it's going to be at React Summit on the remote day. I will be going to React Summit because I get a free ticket anyway, and they're like $700 tickets. So yeah, here's the original talk that we're going to be basically gutting for another talk, but I want to keep this around as like its own talk because I still want to be able to maybe give that talk at other places. So yeah, one sec. Let's copy and paste this. I'm over on the YouTubes as well. Anyone that wants to throw a lurk there? It'd be cool if you did. No worries if not though. And yeah, so let me get some music going. Let's get some synthwave. Randomer, thank you for the follow. Going to in San Fran in December? Yeah, I mean, if you're near the area, it's worth just going to hang out. I'm not sure where you live, Darren, but yeah, if you live near New York, yeah, let's party, man. I'm gonna be going in like that Friday night so I can party a couple nights just in New York. Experience the city a bit. Alright, let's pour this into the whiskey glass. Alright, heavily watered down whiskey. It was already heavily watered down yesterday towards the end of the night, which means this is basically the LaCroix of whiskeys. Yeah, no worries. I'd say if you're nearby, totally worth it. Yeah, it's like early November, too. Yeah, it's like the 13th or something like that. And then remote day is the 15th. So yeah, it's an option. No stress. Yeah, no worries. And I'm trying to go to a bunch of like I'm trying to present at more meetups, or not meetups, conferences. So yeah, I'll be doing like CFPs. There might be a closer one for you at some point, or maybe we end up going to the same conf because you're giving the talk at one. I don't know, right? So I don't think we got to rush it. No stress. But yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to talk more at conferences. Because it is a bit of like a community of DevRels, and giving talks at conferences is a way to break into that community. And if I ever want to do DevRel as a position, as a job, probably need to be familiar with all these other DevRels. So yeah, this is the talk. We're just gonna fork it. I'm gonna copy it. Sure. Yeah, up to you. No worries. All right. So yeah, let's get to the folder we need. All right, so what we want to do here is I need to make a directory for it, right? This is just called CRT. It's got bugs. Don't expect it to be perfect, but you know, it works. Alright, so hold on. Alright, make dir dash P. Is it capital P? I don't remember. We'll figure it out. Make dir dash P. It's going to be presentation. Trees aren't just foliage. All right. Copy. That. Oh, and yeah, I need the dash R. Well, I should hope you found the repo because I just linked it for you in chat. All right, so no worries. Let's see. Do a git init. I'm gonna make a new repo for it on my main repos. I'm gonna create a new one. Yeah, so there we go. Create the repo. Cool, cool. Pop that open. The home will be called the repository. There you go. All right, so this is where it is. So problem we can get rid of. Solution we can get rid of. Yep. All right, so the ESLint stuff will probably get in there. All right. So, we're going to have to think about our puns, right? We're gonna need some tree puns, but let's go through the stuff besides the jokes first. And we should probably just get rid of all these. No, not quite all of them. Yeah, we can leave that one for now. As part of my job for work? No. I've only messed with the back end a little bit. I mean, I have in the past for other things, but for this current job, I don't touch the back end much. All right, so syntax trees, what are they? Right? Popular usages of them. Babel, Webpack, TypeScript, ESLint, Tree Sitter. Webpack, I think we can get off of there, right? But Babel, TypeScript, ESLint, Tree Sitter, code mods. All right, so use cases. We got compiling, transpiling, kind of the same thing. Code analysis, editor tooling. Those are some major use cases for it. When we talk about compiling, that's TS to JS, right? Or compilers in general, like C to assembly. When we're talking about transpiling, that's usually between different versions of the same language. So in the case of Babel, which used to be called 6 to 5, it would convert ES6 to ES5. Nowadays, Babel does much more new modern features and allows them to be used in older languages, or older versions of the language, or older browsers. Another place it's useful is code analysis. ESLint has a really useful AST, even though it uses a different tree structure than a lot of the other tools. And then even things like editor tooling, so syntax highlighting and type annotations. Not every syntax highlighting implementation out there uses ASTs. Some of them use text-make grammars, which are just regular expressions. But, you know, anyone who's had to deal with a regular expression before kind of knows that any other way of doing that is probably better. But yeah, some of our language-specific plugins, etc. Oh, Prettier. Yeah. Good call. Prettier should also be over here in the what? Great call. Yeah. Yeah, we are talking about compiling, Z-Man, for sure. Right, so yeah, syntax highlighting, which isn't necessarily, you know, compiling based. Formatting, barely compiling based. And type annotations, not even compiling. So ASTs are useful for more than just compiling. They're useful for all sorts of stuff. Right, type annotations. Another big one. For various languages, you'll sometimes get some type of like little, you know, it's not part of your code, but it's like a decoration within your editor. Yeah, I think bundling is less relevant for this. Bundling is separate. Your bundler may use a compiler or a transpiler, but it doesn't mean that it's actually the bundling that's doing it. So in that regard, Webpack may use Babel, but that doesn't mean Webpack is doing AST stuff. So language server protocol is a thing that outputs an AST for us to use, but it's really what we're using for all these things. So I don't know if that's worth necessarily mentioning. And language server protocols are pretty obscure. But yeah, as far as bundling goes, that's a separate concern, right? The bundler is the thing that wraps all sorts of other stuff. LSPs expose an AST. That's literally what they do. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see if LSPs are worth adding to this. So how would you do it? Well, because this is a TypeScript talk, we're going to be talking about things that work with TypeScript, and technically TypeScript itself is something that enables you to turn your text source file into an abstract syntax tree that you can manipulate. What are you saying, Moshiko? Use your words. Add context. AI breaks text into tokens, but it's not necessarily a syntax tree. So tokenization is different from a tree. So TS, literally TypeScript. You can use the TypeScript tool to map over various parts of your code. Right? So if you wanted to do so, what would that look like? We go through and talk about some of this. I should probably annotate some of these. If you aren't using TypeScript and you're using raw JavaScript, well, keep in mind you could probably still use TypeScript to parse your JavaScript into an AST. But you could also use some other tools like UNIST, which stands for Universal Syntax Tree. And it aims to add interoperability between various tools and syntax tree types. Because a syntax tree is just a description of what your code is. There's no standard for how people describe the nodes and what props are on those nodes. So this node that we get from UNIST may be completely different from the node that we get from TypeScript. And it's going to be completely different from the node that we get from ESLint, because they're all using their own AST implementations. We literally just mentioned TypeScript. That's a compiler. We talked about that part. Right here. First tokenization, then AST, then intermediate, then output. So like if you're making a compiler, yeah, I believe that's one way. So the tokenization, is that technically the lexer? I can't remember that part. I've never written my own compiler. But I do use ASTs. So yeah, lots of utilities, 32, right? Some of those utilities might be like find or find after, or maybe flat mapping or using the visitor pattern, reducing parts of your structure. There's a lot of utility functions to work with the syntax tree definition and spec that UNIST exposes. And keep in mind that UNIST is not intended to be self-sufficient. Instead, it's expected that other specifications implement UNIST and then extend it to express language-specific nodes. So UNIST could be under the hood of HAST, but you're going to get HTML-specific, like, props on your nodes using HAST. Same with Markdown. You're going to get Markdown-specific props on your nodes. All right? SAST for XML, SAST for CSS, SCSS, and less. A lot of really cool stuff. So UNIST is a very useful tool. One thing that you might run into when using UNIST is the fact that some of its libraries are only ES module compatible, and you may have to go back a version or two to get a non-ES module, depending on what you're using it with. So next up, there's another tool called TS Morph. This is especially useful if you want to do transformations and code mods. And hold on, before we go any further, what's another code mod tool? I know there is one. I am the guy that codes with Comic Sans. Am I that famous? Would you like me to sign your bosom? I say that joking, assuming that you're a dude. If you're a lady, I'm sorry for the offense. All right, we're having a whiskey. It's Friday. I don't think I actually do realize how funny I am, but thank you. Oh yeah? Only good things, I hope. Yeah, no. Yeah. There's always the joke my dad used to say, like, hey, something like, say like, oh man, I'm really strong. And then, you know, your dad would chime in saying, yeah, but smell isn't everything. You can say the same thing for funny. Yeah, but smell isn't everything. So yeah, I probably get it from my dad. Only good things, awesome. Yeah, Irish John's awesome too. Has he released his game yet? Or is it still in, what do they call it? Early access. Oh yeah, that's what I want to do. Really? Well, thanks, Seaman. I'm not sure I believe you, but okay, I'll take it. And yeah, how's it going, Bad Cop? Is it a little cooler where you're at? It warmed up where I'm at today. It's pretty warm. Yeah, it's pretty warm here today, too. So it hasn't released yet, huge amount of work. Yeah, I just, you know, I want to try and hype it up. I'll probably try and reach out to him. So if you do watch him a lot, let me know whenever he does release. Because I'd like to reach out to him for, like, you know, to purchase some keys so that I could do, like, a giveaway or something. I've offered to pretty much every game dev, and no one's taken me up on that. No one's actually followed through with allowing me to buy X amount of keys or something, which is a bummer. Because I will pay full price. I don't mind. Right? Depending on the cost of the game, 5 to 10 copies. Boom, give them away as a celebration. I'm willing to do that for basically any of them. Yeah, I offered it to Tim Bodette. We don't see Lana enough, so I might not have offered to her. I keep forgetting. Yeah. Yeah, I want to support, right? You know, also, like, build up some hype, get people interested, get other people to maybe purchase it. But, you know, I'm not trying to ask for free keys, because that's scummy. That's not cool. But okay, so, hold on. This is what I'm looking for. Code mod JS. JS code shift. All right, so, boom, JS code shift is another tool I want to list. Oh, you just mean all your games are free? Yeah, I gotcha. I mean, you should try and release a couple for pay. Why not? Aw, really, On? That's a bummer. Why's that? Failed your training exam or something? Yes, it is, Thornity. Ooh, that's a bummer, Owen. Yeah, I don't know, man. You probably know what I'm gonna say, so I don't need to say it, but yeah. You probably get it already. I'm not trying to make you feel any worse. Well, did you report on the bugs? Did you screen capture the bugs? Any of that stuff? But yeah, I mean, probably not what you want to hear, Owen. That's not the same thing. Did you tell the manager? Right? Did you screenshot things? Like, all that stuff. But yeah, what I'm gonna say is, that's a skill. To be able to focus when you're sick. It's a skill you should practice as much as you can. They were aware of the bugs. Okay. Say goodbye to JS code shift? Wait, why? Okay, I see what's going on. And hey, Algo, damn it, I forgot to reply to you. Yeah, I get into town that Thursday night. Like the Thursday before TwitchCon. So, yeah, I think you were saying probably like, you know, probably next week is what you were talking about. But yeah, how you doing, Algo? Oh, you got like a sketchy place that you booked? Oof. Yeah, that's not good. Oh yeah, no worries. Yeah, that's important, man. Yeah, that's real important. Yeah, Owen, like, the big thing is... Oh. Jeez, this chair is not situated, right? Many places aren't gonna give a shit if you're sick, especially if it's your first job. It's the sad reality of it. So instead, you gotta get good at working through sickness. Right? Eventually, once you get more solidified and you have skills that are worth it, you'll get into companies that respect their workers more. But yeah, especially for the job you were getting, they're not going to cut you any slack. So you got to practice that. You got to work on your focus. And I know I've said this to you before. You got this, but don't think there's not any work you need to put in. You got to put in some work. You got to work on whatever it was that prevented you from learning this stuff. If that is learning while sick, then that's the skill you got to build. No offense, just saying. As an example, here's one thing. Always assume the test is going to be harder than you think it is, and work accordingly. Oh, yeah, that's a little tougher there, Owen. That makes sense. Is it something where you could have stayed later to study or something? No, it was for like a tech support kind of role. I hope you're okay me saying that, Owen. Everyone leaves? Yeah, that's tougher too. There's no way that they would have let you just bring a pad of paper and take notes yourself? Did you even ask? Yeah, so that's your big problem, man. Like, no offense. First day that you couldn't take notes home with you, you should have come prepared the next day. Lesson learned, but seriously, man. That's an easy problem to solve. And you even saw other people doing it. It's fine, Owen. These are lessons. They're only lessons if you actually learn from them, though. That's the important part. If you encounter a situation like this in the future and you don't take paper notes, then that's on you. Right? So the key is you have to actually learn from it rather than just have things happen to you. See, I think JS code shift is good enough. We don't need to worry about that. $600 stars. This person killed it. But yeah, JS code shift is a bigger one. Code mods, right? So let's talk about that a bit. Effortless upgrades. Exactly. Yeah. Guilt doesn't help, but I mean, sometimes it does. I'm actually fairly guilt-driven. So, I mean, it depends on the type of person you are. I'm a bit of a guilt-driven developer. Oh, I don't want to write these tests, but I should. You know? Exactly. If anything, just asking puts you ahead because they look at you as someone who's trying to put in the extra effort. That's a huge thing, actually. Yeah, how's it going, Rip Snake? Yeah, so Rip Snake, I give talks at meetups fairly frequently, and when I do so, I often make actually every time for the past 5 years, I have made the talk here on stream. No, I get it, Z-Man, but no, like, as a procrastinator that hasn't even begun to procrastinate yet, patent pending, guilt is the thing that actually makes me finish a task. Without the guilt of the pile of dirty laundry, I'd happily just wear snowboard socks if I have a pair of socks still. Right? I've done it before. I've totally worn snowboard socks here at the desk because I didn't feel like doing laundry, but I felt guilty about it the entire day. And then I did laundry the next day. Avoiding a shower because I don't have any clean towels. The guilt of that makes me do laundry. Can we realize that I really just don't like doing laundry? I have so many things that I have to guilt myself into laundry-wise. Same with washing dishes. If I can hire a maid at some point, ooh, buddy. Housekeeper, whatever. It is guilt. Yeah. It is guilt, right? The word guilt has some, like, negative connotations in many people's minds, but the actual, like, emotion of it is a thing. Personal chef sounds cool, but many personal chefs just cook for one day and then you cook, like, prepped food, like, pre-prepped food the rest of the week. No, I like fresh-made food, so I don't mind cooking. I like cooking, actually. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I love cooking, too. Yeah, I really, really enjoy cooking. There's something about making a meal exactly how you wanted it. And it being as fresh as possible, right? No soggy fried chicken or something, right? Because it sat in a, some Uber Eats bag for fucking 20 minutes while they did circles around your neighborhood for no reason. Damn right. Yeah, for sure, I'll go. Like, yeah. Cooking a dank meal is so good. Oh, it's so good. But I'm the kind of person that, like, thinks about what I'm gonna eat for the day, and it's in my head the entire time. So I'm, like, building up to that, like, deliciousness of the meal. And then I get the endorphins of, like, cooking it and eating it. So yeah. Second to last time, you were close. This last time, not that well. That does happen. Friends and family? What are those? Does not compute. Always have a backup steak? Ooh, that's not a bad idea. Maybe, Darren, but you can always, like, improve upon it. Yeah, even a meal like, oh man, I overdid the ginger. Does it taste like shit, or is it just not what I was intending? Those are different things. And yes, I have overdone the ginger on my chow mein before. It's fine. Beef Wellington would be amazing. Yeah, that's one of those things where I'd love to have like a really like perfectly made one so I know what to look for when I make my own. Yeah, Beef Wellington would be amazing to make. I will probably try and do that on Cooking Stream at some point. Because that sounds amazing, doesn't it? Now, granted, I could just cook a steak and some biscuits. Same thing, right? Right? Take a bite of biscuit and a bite of steak and you got Beef Wellington in your mouth. Boom, nailed it. I guess it's more puff pastry instead, like closer to like a croissant, but close enough. Cook up some puff pastry. Boom, done. Yeah, it's deconstructed Beef Wellington. $100 a plate. Mashed potatoes, meatballs, and a classic sauce. I don't know what that sauce is. Like, I don't know what goes into that sauce. What makes it different from like a marinara or something? Oh, it's a brown sauce. Oh, okay, okay. And it's a French cooking thing. Okay. Oh, it's actually one of the mother sauces? I didn't know that. Okay. I eat one big meal. That's it. Yeah, I don't do the 3 meal a day thing. I try not to snack either. Now, granted, the whiskey is basically like snacking. But yeah, I'm 1 meal a day. I think whiskey counts as snacking. Yeah, totally. Where's the Wikipedia? Let me just read this real quick. Yeah, I'm a collector. So yeah, it's one of the 5 mother sauces in classical cuisine. Ah, interesting. It's the ingredients, basically. Ham, veal, partridge. Right, braised in water for 2 hours, after which a roux is mixed in, yeah. That's to thicken it up, probably. Yeah, bechamel. Kill this little fly, man. He's gotta die. Okay, so it's almost like a brown gravy. That sounds literally like just brown gravy. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, bechamel is really useful for like mac and cheese sauces, things like that, like a good cheese sauce. And that's really like the only mother sauce I tend to make. Yeah, I don't actually like my protein to have a lot of like sauce on it. In any way. Yeah, I think guacamole and some of the other like sauces they'll put on like tacos in San Diego, I think those ruin fucking tacos. You gonna lurk? Yeah, no worries, Darren. Alright, so, yeah, code mods are a major reason to use ASTs. Yeah, I'm debating whether it's worth mentioning Angular. Because the talk is called React Summit. Or not the talk, but the conference is React Summit. So I feel like mentioning Angular would be persona non grata in that case. Probably not something I should do. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'm not saying anyone needs to like do exactly as I do. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't like sauce on any of my protein. I don't like it on. I mean, no, I guess a good chicken Alfredo is not bad. Spaghetti and meatballs, sure. I actually like eating the meatballs without the spaghetti sauce on them, though. I just want to eat the meatballs raw. Or not raw, but like, you know, bare. Steak Diane? I've never had that before. No, I don't put sauce on steak. Not for me. I guess, you know, like a chicken ramen, that's basically a sauce, right? If you're putting the chicken in, you're like saucing the chicken with, you know, ramen, like broth. So I don't know. Yeah, it's not like a hard and fast rule. It's just yeah, like a general thing. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna leave the jokes in there just for pacing, and then we'll maybe think about different jokes. I just want to see what the timer is for this. Oh, that's not even the right one, though. Shit. Yeah, hold on. Let me fix the intro as well. This is... Trees aren't just foliage. No, it's hard if you don't know some of the basics of food prep, right? And if you mess up cooking food, you make people sick. Hopefully it's just you when you do it. But yeah, like messing up cooking some food can make people really fucking sick. So, I don't know. I get it. If you don't like cooking or you don't cook, don't worry about it. I would say that cost-wise, you're gonna make more money. Ooh. Really? So someone cooked chicken wrong for you and you're like scarred from it ever since, huh? Yeah, that sucks, man. Because there's so many really good chicken dishes you can make. And if you just treat the chicken right, you're good. But yeah, one person fucking up and you're turned off of a food for life. And it can go to an extreme. I have like a friend from Snowboard World. We haven't chatted in a while, but yeah. He had an entire, like, half of his family die, basically, because someone jarred pickles wrong. Yeah. Anyone who went to that family reunion dinner or whatever, basically anyone who ate the pickles, dead. Yeah. Yeah, canning is something canning and jarring is not something you take lightly. Yeah, it's gnarly. Basic food prep isn't deadly? You say that to people that thaw their fucking ground beef directly in water in a stopped-up sink. Yes, there was a Reddit post about that a couple weeks ago. You tell that to people that leave chicken sitting out on the counter to thaw. Right? Basic food prep can be deadly. All it takes is being slightly dehydrated and having a bout of massive diarrhea, and then, yeah, you die from lack of water. Dysentery, man. Didn't you play Oregon Trail? Dysentery killed your team more often than not, didn't it? It wasn't fording the river that got you, it was the dysentery. It's always the dysentery. Hold on, I need to rebuild this, though. I think it's slides build. Yeah. Yeah, no worries, Owen. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. Sucks that you weren't feeling well. Make sure you're getting enough vitamin C and vitamin D. Those are basically essential for immune health. If you don't have a supplement for vitamin D and vitamin C, you should get some. But yeah, good night, man. Hope you feel better. So here's the biggest thing, though, Z-meant. Trichinosis, yeah, that's gnarly. But for chicken, it's not even the salmonella bacteria that gets you. It's the byproduct, right? It's the poop they leave on your food. And cooking your food does not actually kill the byproduct. It just kills the bacteria. So if it's left there long enough, doesn't matter how much you boil it, it's still toxic chicken. Here's another big one people don't realize. Rice. Never eat leftover rice that's been sitting out on the counter or something. Right? Rice is fucking gnarly. Rice produces botulinum toxin if left out too long. I have absolutely had food poisoning from bad rice. Without any other, like, meat or any byproduct on it. Rice is not something you reheat. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. Because again, it's the toxin is actually from the bacteria that brews and then poops. And then what you get sick from is their poop, not the bacteria. And that's what makes you sick from bad rice. So, yeah, just saying. Yeah, exactly, Z-Man. There's memes about that too, right? Like, oh, I bought some lettuce and it went bad in 3 days in my fridge. Oh, I bought some potatoes a month ago and now they're just throwing out tendrils to find some fucking moisture. You know, like, holy shit. Yeah, potatoes, if left unattended, become an eldritch horror of which you really don't want to see. But pull those fucking tendrils off, still edible. Right? Like, it's crazy. It's kind of fucking crazy. Yeah, see, I don't think growing potatoes is worth it because they're so dirt cheap. Personally, I'd rather grow things that are more expensive and go bad too quickly. And hey, what's up, Brookzer? How you doing? I mean, I'm not saying don't reheat at all. It depends on how quickly that rice got into the fridge to prevent the bacteria from propagating. If it sat on your counter or on your fucking lunch table and then got spooned into a fucking leftover box at a restaurant and then you drove an hour home, I would not eat those leftovers. So Z-Man, the toxin is actually still on the outside. The tendrils themselves are toxic, right? The feet or whatever are toxic, but you can just pop the feet off and you're good. But yeah, what are you up to, Brooke Zerker? It does grow inside too? I hadn't heard that. Okay. I hadn't heard that before. Yeah, I didn't know that. And it's really like when they're like long tendrils, when they're just like the little feet that you can just pop off with a quick like your potato's probably fine. You do want to make sure you kind of like slice off that eye. I don't remember. I don't remember what the toxin is specifically. Interesting, Demon. Yeah, I didn't know. Okay, so, yeah, hold on. Did we do all the shoutouts? We didn't do the one. And, hey, Brooke, how's your team looking this week? I haven't looked at other people's teams yet. I only looked at the person I'm playing against. Oh, someone else already gave the shout out. Perfect. Thank you all. Hopefully you didn't have anyone that was on a bye week on Thursday. Maybe you could still pop them out, actually. Which would be good. So, creating a SQLX, a course with SQLX Rust for seeding offline mode and starting on joins. Wait, so what's the offline mode thing? Yeah, what do you mean by offline mode? That sounds really interesting. And yeah, when you finish the course, please link it to us. And what's up, Efficacy? How you doing? Sounds better than it is. Oh. I'm still curious, though. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah. That makes sense. Okay. I mean, that seems kind of standard, though, right? Oh, it has static SQL checking. Oh. Got it. I didn't realize that SQLX had static SQL checking. That's a really cool feature. Okay. That's a really cool feature. Yeah. Wait, what's up, Z-Man? What about Prime? Oh, you subbed with Prime. Oh, yeah, I didn't see the notification come through. Maybe I missed it? That sounds like a Twitch bug. Yeah, I'm sorry. Well, yeah, thank you, Z-Man. I appreciate the sub. Yeah, it didn't even show up in my activity feed. Hold on, try refreshing. Maybe you had one previously? Yeah, try doing a refresh real quick. And then see if it gives you like the, hey, like shout out your sub thing. Like maybe you've gotten one before and you're on your 2-month. You are on your 2-month. Yeah, Twitch doesn't always shout out your sub if it's like a continuation. I think that's something that you have to do on your own. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I mean, with a Prime, it should have actually done it. So I don't know. Yeah, that sounds like just a bug. Blame Twitch. Wasn't on your end. It was on Twitch's end. But yeah, offline mode's hard to come up with a real reason to use it, though. I mean, CI/CD. That's a perfect reason for it. Right? You don't always have a database to access from CI/CD. But you still want to compile, right? And hey, what's up, Cinder? How you doing? Yeah, Brooke Zerker. I think, yeah, CI/CD is the prime use case for an offline mode. For sure. Yeah. Like, that's the exact reason it exists, even, I bet. Gonna wander around or just lurk? But you got a Scoot? No worries. Yeah, that's fine. Ooh, I like that name, Scoot. I had a friend during snowboard years named Carter. And his friends nicknamed him Scooter. Right? Because, you know, like a go-kart is kind of like a scooter. And then his name became Scoot as like a nickname. Hey, what up, Scoot? I still called him Carter, but yeah, it's awesome. I like the word Scoot for that reason, at least. So yeah, anyway, have a good one. Thank you for the Prime sub. We'll see you again soon. Seventh through the 15th? Perfect. Yeah, awesome. So we could probably get a bunch of sessions in, depending on if James is available as well. That would be tomorrow through a week from tomorrow. So yeah, let's try and hit up James and see if there's some like random days that he can make some stuff at. Cause yeah, I got Seattle JS next Wednesday, but I can do stuff Tuesday, Thursday, Monday even, you know, whatever works for James basically at this point then, huh? And I can do multiple days even. But yeah, Aiden, that was your nephew, right? I didn't necessarily want to ask here if you didn't want to like talk about it and share, but awesome. So they're doing well, right? Is it okay if I give people the context? Yes, it's okay. Okay. So yeah, their nephew got hit by a car. But they're not dead, right? Maybe some basic, you know, maybe like broken bones here and there, but hopefully not too bad. They're coming home on Sunday, and I feel like it's been 5-ish days at that point. So yeah, you know, that could have been way worse. Oh, and Monday's your anniversary? Well, shit, that's why he got the week off then, right? Okay, so not Monday. But any other day, I'm down. Yeah, maybe James even has tomorrow as an option. Yeah, exactly. Robotic Head knows all sorts about, like, vehicle-related injuries. I would dare say Robotic Head is the expert when it comes to vehicle-related injuries. Hasn't it been twice now? Maybe it was just the once and I'm forgetting. But yeah, Robotic Head likes to ride his bike. And at one point, someone like opened a door without looking, and he ran into that door. That sounds so gnarly. Yeah. Ouch. Like, holy shit, dude. Ouch. Oh, and then the second time a car basically just drove into you. Yikes, dude. Oh, hold on. Second time, basically, they were like making a turn and they didn't look for you, right? Yeah, dude, brutal, man. Brutal. And Robotic Head is not a small person, so that's a lot of human being flying through the air during these situations. You ruined their car. Ooh, some memory loss. Damn, so that's one hell of a car wreck. Damn, yeah, I hope they recover real well. Damn, yeah, that's gnarly. Pins are gonna hurt for a while for sure. Yep. And yeah, real quick, if anyone's willing to leave me a lurk over on the YouTube. Damn, Dion. Yeah, that's gnarly, dude. Dude, I mean, in a lot of those countries, scooter riders really have no concern for their own lives. Well, he is gnarly. But all right, let's do a gist of this talk real quick. Let me get my notes open so I can get a timer going. Right, we'll have the jokes in there, just, you know, to make sure. All right, so we got to give a quick timer of this talk. This is a quick gist of it, and hopefully it comes out well. Let's try this. Hi, everyone. Today, I'm going to be talking about trees aren't just foliage. I'll tell you what that actually means here in a second. But first, who am I? Well, I'm a senior front-end engineer at Fairwinds. We do some really cool stuff with Kubernetes, and we can help optimize what you do with your clusters and reporting and action items of, you know, permissions and all that stuff. We automate all sorts of nifty, like, reporting style tools for your cluster. A lot of big clients. The bigger the client, the more useful we are. Also about me, I am a Twitch streamer. I possibly stream too much. And I'm a lazy YouTuber. I probably need to, you know, write some more stuff. And hey, what's up, Aiden? How are you doing? I don't think we've seen you in here before. Yeah, welcome everyone. I was just about to do my spiel. We'll let everyone join in, and I'll do my like timed spiel here in a second. But yeah, how you doing, Aiden? Yeah, you got a great stream. I know I've lurked it a few times. I do tend to get you confused with Automated sometimes. Automated is the one that does like the soap shaving thing, right? Like the weird like videos like that up at the top. Okay, just making sure. I know I've gotten you two confused too many times. But yeah, what were you up to today? Hold on. Yeah, did we do the shout out? Ah, I forgot the other shout out. Yeah. Oh. Okay, so you're doing some TS, React, and Go. Doing some Fossabot stuff. Nice. Yeah, good work on Fossabot. I see a lot of streamers using it. And before you head off for the weekend? Oh, like you don't code on the weekends on your side projects, I guess? Which I totally get. Or more like you're planning like a vacation. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Like, I don't know. It just depends. You're just tired. No, I get you. I get you. And hey, what's up, Jay Phils? Thank you for that sub, dude. 38 months is huge. Huge. Real quick, just to let everyone that's joining know, the thing we're working on is basically I have a talk that got accepted to React Summit. It's a remote talk, meaning I need to record it somewhat, like, you know, this weekend probably, because the cutoff is the 15th. But yeah, I get to go to React Summit for free. It is going to be a TypeScript-focused talk. Yeah, for sure, Vessel. Basically because it's at React Summit, so like most people going to React Summit care most about React and then JavaScript, TypeScript. But realistically, I even have a slide in here about Tree Sitter that you could use from a lot of languages to actually do like AST-based things as well. And I've used Tree Sitter as like a NeoVim feature to make my own plugins for NeoVim, even though I don't use NeoVim. Because just making things is fun, isn't it? So yeah, this talk is mainly going to be JSTS focused. But if you want to learn, like if you care about ASTs, you can use them for all sorts of things, for all sorts of languages. Tree Sitter has a Go parser that you can totally use to do all sorts of really cool stuff. Right? So as an example, I'm using Tree Sitter to do assorted biscuits. Right? And assorted biscuits, oh, well, let's look at NeoVim biscuits. NeoVim biscuits is a NeoVim extension or plugin to actually annotate like the ending bracket of what started it. So that like, you know, if you're like scaled way through and like scrolled way down in your thing, right? You can actually still get context of what that bracket's for, which is hugely useful. Now there's other tools as well for NeoVim that I think probably do it a little bit better these days, right? The ones that like give you your context at the top as this like stacking thing as you scroll. I've seen Prime use that one before, which is awesome. But keep in mind that like, yeah, NeoVim biscuits, well, I also made something called assorted biscuits, right? And if we go look at assorted biscuits on the VS Code marketplace, yeah, it works for Go, Rust, right? Like all these languages using Tree Sitter, and it's all AST based, which is kind of fun. My LinkedIn is just Chris Griffin. Very simple name. You'll recognize it due to the beanie. Yeah, no Ruby. The reason that a bunch of them are not present is because the parsers didn't compile to WebAssembly properly. Now, when I did this, that's a while ago, right? Keep that in mind. They could have improved the parsers and now they compile to WebAssembly. But if you're doing a VS Code plugin that uses something like Tree Sitter, it needs to be able to compile to WebAssembly to actually be usable. And that's what I'm doing. I'm using the Wasm output. They even have a library on NPM, right? Tree Sitter. It encapsulates all of their like separate parsers, etc. So really useful, really cool. Right? Tree Sitter Go, JavaScript, blah, 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 right? Consumes their grammars and allows you to use it, but not all of them compile. And I believe Ruby was one of the ones I had that had issues with compilation. But yeah, so I made these plugins. It's Griffing, Griffing, and once you actually add that closing G, I'm pretty much the only one you're gonna find. There might be one more, but it'll be pretty obvious. But yeah, so 1,600 installs of Code Biscuits. Keep in mind that I'd used a different tool for some of these others though, but still using ASTs. So I made HTML biscuits, right? Helps annotate like the class or ID for that ending div. You ever been in div soup? This will actually help you navigate div soup. Right? We solved div city in VS Code. No worries, Algo. Hell yeah, glad you got a better place now. But yeah, what features were you working on for Fossabot? Or I guess bug fixes. What was like the biggest bug of the day? I'm curious about that, Aiden. If you're still around, no worries if not. Yeah, thanks, Vessel. Yeah, I'll check out LinkedIn later. Aiden, you gonna be at TwitchCon? I was there last year. I feel like we didn't meet, but we got a chance this year too. I think we're all trying to do like a programming streamer like hangout. I forget which night or whatever, but yeah, it'll be fun. Bunch of people involved. Prime, I think Theo's part of the group at least. Melky's part of the group. Tawny, Bash. Just, yeah, all the cool kids. And then me. The joke is not part of the cool kids. Yeah, exactly. Algo's gonna be there. Yeah, it's gonna be a really good group. Why not both? I think the not a kid thing is pretty accurate. I'm almost 40, you know? I'm a kid at heart, which I think just means I'm immature. I took that Toys R Us Kid song way too seriously back in the day. I know, right, Alex? Yeah, kids these days. No respect. The older I get, the more Rodney Dangerfield's entire stand-up routine resonates with me. I get no respect. Yeah, I do projects. The big project I've been working on for the past, couple months even, is Vexilla. This is the version 0.x documentation. We're working on version 1.x right now. I mainly work on projects. I'm going to be bold and say I think I launch more projects than any other programming streamer. I also stream more than any other programming streamer too. So, it's not a fair comparison. But if you go look at my GitHub, most of the stuff in my GitHub repo, like, repositories I've made, are things that I've made here on stream. The chat overlay below, that's a thing I made here on stream. And real quick, let me shout out some follows. So, Dummy, Skur, and Timbo. Yeah, thank you for the follows. Welcome. And again, J Phils, thanks for that stuff. J Phils, hold up, you're still out there, right? Are you going to TwitchCon? I got more and better stickers for you this time. They're like a nice, matte finish. They're way better stickers. So I got more stickers this time too. You can have as many as you want. Vidara? Oh, I don't know where that is. I'm staying at the Flamingo because I wanted something on strip, but I wanted to be close to the tram so I could get to the conference center cheap, and it's $50 for a 5-day tram ticket. Just down the block from Flamingo? Hell yeah. So we're gonna go crash some poker tournaments. I wouldn't mind doing a poker tournament or two. Fuck yeah, that sounds awesome. I might even do that during the day instead of going to the conference. Shit. Hell yeah. And I'm not positive. I haven't actually looked to see if there's good cheap buy-in tournaments. The key is the tournaments are fun without actually over leveraging yourself. Because going to a cash table, it's real easy to get bullied, No Git in Vegas? Well, there will be when we're there. But yeah, at the casinos here in Washington at least, they have regular basis poker tournaments for $20 buy-in or whatever. That sounds awesome. So I'm gonna look at some of that. Oh, there you go. Yeah. What gets commit in Vegas stays commit in Vegas. No pushing from Vegas. No pushing allowed from the Vegas branch. There we go. Oh, yeah, there you go. Pushing all in only. But yeah, real quick. So yeah, people asking about like the stuff I work on. Oh, and I live in the US, Vessel. But yeah, the big thing I'm working on that I'm really trying to like make happen that I think is going to be hugely valuable to a lot of people is Vexilla and its feature flagging. And if you look, the old version had client libraries or SDKs for all these languages. Alex, yeah, Ruby included. No big deal. All written by hand, by me, published, and usable. But now, you know, besides today when we're working on our presentation, we are working on getting support for all these other languages. So I've currently been rewriting a bunch of the clients. I've rewritten already the JSTS client for the 1.x, the C# client, the Go client, and the Rust client. The next one up, due to voting, is the PHP client, which I actually have some experience with, so I should be able to do it pretty quick. But yeah, like the main gist is I really think Vexilla could be useful for people trying to bootstrap their own projects because LaunchDarkly costs too much. Now keep in mind that Growthbook is hugely usable and also like has a very reasonable free tier. But if you want to actually schedule your feature flags, well then you got to pay them money. Whereas, yeah, Vexilla is a static file wherever you want to put it, so I have no server holding it, which means I have 0 operating costs as well, which means I can support every language I want. I can give this to as many people as I want. There's no limits to whatever because you host it wherever you want to host it, but it's just a static file, so you probably don't have to worry about scaling that in any major way. So for the most part, Vexilla is meant for people bootstrapping a startup or people doing hobby projects or various other things. And we get scheduling and all sorts of other features without having to pay me any money. I have a bunch of web dev projects. This is one of them. This is a static site, yes. This is a web dev static site hosted on Reddit. I'm using Astro. The application, right? This is the old version of the app. This is I think the old version's a Vue app. We've refactored it to a React app. But yes, normally I work on web stuff. No monetization at launch. For the most part, I want to get it into as many people's hands as possible, make sure that we understand and fix the UI in a way that makes people able to use it, that kind of thing. The main gist is simply, because I have no overhead or operating costs for it, I don't need to charge people money for it yet, either. And if I can get it used by enough people, maybe my monetization strategy is just getting bought by one of the incumbents. PostHog, LaunchDarkly, Split.io, right? Like any of that shit. To actually like monetize it further, I'd probably like apply to like YC or something like that. Try and get some investment for a cloud platform so that people don't have to worry about hosting their own thing. That would be the process there. But really, I think this is more of like a project that's just going to get bought by some other company so that they can throw their like marketing funnels into it. By AdSense, I'd like to not do that. If anything, maybe Carbon ads would work. I'd be fine with Carbon. That's a common way that people monetize their documentation sites. So yeah, Carbon could be an option. But for the most part, I think really just eating into other companies' bottom line, that's the easy filter. And most companies, if they wanted to build out what I've built, they'd spend easily $1 million in just expenses without even being able to get a user base yet, you know? So if I could sell this company for 2 mil, that's actually a pretty good value proposition. Or not company, but sell this product for 2 mil. Could I make some money off that? Probably. Right? And 2 mil is basically the break-even point, bare minimum, for a larger company to accept, to try and like do this. Right? If we consider how many SDKs I support, etc., yeah, it would take like 5 engineers at a normal company to actually do that. So I still think there's like, yeah, a way to do this as like a cloud platform, but for now, I think it's just a useful tool that we can get a lot of users for, and then at some point, maybe it's worth making a cloud platform for, or maybe it's just worth selling what it is to some company. Most people won't be going to the main page, but our documentation and guides, etc., could benefit from carbon ads somewhere. Like, for sure. Guaranteed. Ooh, we got a bug. We're focusing the wrong thing here. That should not be autofocused. Well, yeah, we got a total bug here. We're gonna have to work on that. But the thing we're doing right now is I actually need to do a practice run of this talk so that I can get a feel for how long it takes to actually give, because I need to keep it, I think, within 10 minutes, but I think they had said 7 minutes at one point. So I'm gonna give a quick run through of abstract syntax trees and why they're not just foliage. So I'm going to give this talk as if I'm giving the presentation and recording it. So please don't get mad if I ignore you for a little bit while I give this talk. And how you doing, Uratao? Right? We can reset this right now. But give me just like a quick 7 to 10 minutes of walking through this talk and trying to explain and talk through it and making sure that my timer is somewhat accurate. Now keep in mind that the jokes that we have within the app, we haven't actually, or not the app, but within the presentation have not been replaced with tree-based jokes. They're currently environment-based jokes because I'm adapting a previous talk I've done at meetups about like protecting your environment variables. So let's do this real quick. Let's reset it. Hi, I'm Chris, and I'm here to talk about trees and how they aren't just foliage. So first, who am I? I'm a senior front-end engineer at Fairwinds. Fairwinds makes a platform called Insights, and we have some various like open source tools for Kubernetes users and things that will just like really optimize your cluster, right? Fairwinds Insights itself will help you recognize and aggregate all sorts of reporting tools like Prometheus metrics and OPA for like, you know, permissions and just all sorts of things. We support reporting and helping you recognize action items within your platform, within your Kubernetes cluster, in a way that you'd have to spend a lot of time gluing them together yourself. We can save you that time. About me more, well, yeah, I'm a Twitch streamer, and I probably stream too much, but, you know, it's fun. I enjoy it. And I'm also a lazy YouTuber, basically meaning that, yeah, I haven't published a video in a while, and I should probably get on that. So, where's the best place for a horse to grow up? Yeah, I'm going to be doing some jokes here to make the talk go a little quicker, but where is the best place for a horse to grow up? In a stable environment. Nailed it. So, what are ASTs, right? Well, there's two kinds of syntax trees that you'd be concerned with and worried about, right? Abstract syntax trees and concrete syntax trees. So real quick, concrete syntax trees are the representation of every part of your like code file. So that means the white space, such as indentation, right? Especially for for white space in sensitive languages. So it's every detail of your language. Whereas an abstract syntax tree concentrates more on like the details or the structures that actually make up what your code does, not necessarily the visual representation of your code. So the key is it might annotate your if statement and the clause for that statement and the block following that statement, but it's not going to be concerned with where the parentheses are and if they broke out to a new line. That's what a concrete syntax tree is for. We're not going to be talking about concrete syntax trees today. So abstract syntax trees are really what's behind most of the tools that we're going to be talking about, most of the tools we use every day that are related to this. And let me dig into a little bit more about this. So here's an example of an abstract syntax tree. We get a statement sequence, and within that sequence, we have a while loop. Within that while loop, there's a condition and a body. And then within the condition, there's variable A and constant B or whatever, right? Within the body, there's a bunch of branches for like a condition, your if body, your else body, some of those things. The main gist is we can break apart how our code thinks about itself, how it flows into this entire tree of things that link to each other. And that's really powerful. So what are some popular usages of ASTs? Well, Babel, TypeScript, ESLint, Prettier, Tree Sitter, which you might not be familiar with, and JS CodeShift. All these things use abstract syntax trees to either understand your code better or to maybe even manipulate your code. Ooh, yeah, so Ronnie, I'll dig into that here in a second. I'm trying to get some timing for how long this takes to go. So give me just a second. I think that's valid for sure. So real quick, why don't environmentalists eat Italian food? Because they're trying to decrease their carbonara footprint. All right, so why would we use abstract syntax trees, right? We talked about the tools that use them, and it's going to tie into what we're doing here, right? But the use cases are basically compiling, transpiling, code analysis, editor tooling, and code mods, right? And some people might get on my case about compiling and transpiling being basically the same thing. I think for the usage of this talk, they are separate because they're doing somewhat different things with regard to what the tools are doing. So when we talk about compiling, compiling TypeScript to JS, right, via TSC, that is compilation, right? Compilers in general, from C to assembly, that is using the abstract syntax tree to turn these things into the resulting code that you're looking for. And as someone just pointed out, JSX being parsed into react.createElement under the hood is a method of using the AST to turn these things into what you're looking for. When we talk about transpiling, that's maybe converting ES6 to ES5 via Babel, right? And the reason I say ES6 to 5 is because Babel used to be called 6 to 5, but it has gone way beyond just ES6 to ES5, and it allows us to use any modern JavaScript feature and port it to older browsers that don't support the latest features, which is really cool. Another way in which we use ASTs every day without knowing it is code analysis, right? ESLint uses an AST to parse your entire code base and understand what rules should be enforced and to actually understand how to enforce those rules. And I'll dig a little more into ESLint a little bit later. But very useful, very important stuff. What about editor tooling, right? So syntax highlighting. I'm hesitant to say best, but the best syntax highlighters use the AST to highlight your code, whereas older syntax highlighting is the TextMate style that relies upon regular expressions. As a person who's tried to use regular expressions, in a case where a tree sitter or some type of parser would have been better, I can just point out that yes, regular expressions have a lot of foot guns in a lot of cases in which they just don't work the way you expected them to. Right? How many here actually can write a regular expression without looking at a reference? Not me. Not me. So then also think about formatting, something like Prettier, right? Prettier can format your code. The way it does so is by breaking it down into an abstract syntax tree and then just formatting the result of the significant code portions using a set of predefined rules. And then finally, type annotations. So depending on the languages you use, if you've ever used Writer from JetBrains for C# code, they have really awesome annotations of what the types are in various places where like they were inferred and you don't necessarily have to like do it yourself. Or not necessarily even types, but what prop is being passed to a function. All sorts of like type annotations or annotation-based tools. They're ephemeral, they're just part of your editor, they're not part of your code base, but they still give you a little bit of like extra info inside of it. And WebStorm, right? A lot of JetBrains tools have really nice type annotations or annotations of some kind, which is really cool. Anyone who's done Flutter Dev, the official Flutter plugin for VS Code, has some really awesome annotations at the end of all of your like ending parentheses. And then one of the last things I wanted to call out is code mods. Code mods are a really important aspect of ASTs because they allow us to do like framework upgrades. And I know mentioning Angular is probably not the best way, but Angular, they have an automated tool that they build out and release with their CLI that allows you to do some automated upgrades from Angular version to version. I'm not aware of any React-specific ones, but as far as tools go, JS CodeShift is a Facebook release tool that is meant for code mods, and Angular might even be using that under the hood. Because again, like, you know, we can all use these cool tools to make better software for our users. It's not about an X versus Y, like one being better than the other. A rising tide lifts all boats. So yeah, that was a bunch. Here's a fun joke. Environmental protection can be so simple. For example, I have deliberately never bought a jet or a yacht. You're welcome, environment. So you might be wondering, like, how could you use code mods or like any of these tools yourself, right? Like, what are the use cases to do some of this? What would some of the syntax look like? Some of those things. Well, at the bare minimum, right, there's some tools that we're going to look at. These are the ones I'm most familiar with. TS, right, which is TypeScript. Unist, tsmorph, and treeset. So TypeScript, yes, literally TypeScript. You can import TypeScript into a script, right? Into like some just tool that needs to run over your code base. You can import it in and then use ts.create source file. You'll read in the file name you care about or possibly just the source text for it, right? And then you'll say what version of TypeScript you're looking for. Bam. From there, all we need to do is map over that source file and look for the things that we care about. This route metadata thing is something I've done for my own projects in which I can actually, in my code, use a decorator and expose out some of the metadata for a Lambda function as a decorator. So I can release an AWS Lambda function, decorate it with this thing, and then using that decorator, I can crawl it at build time and generate my OpenAPI spec. So it knows about what the body is going to be, right? The request and response. It can know about like whether it's a get or a post or any of that. I can just have all of this metadata about a function in AWS Lambda that actually allows me to build out my entire OpenAPI spec in a pure, like, awesome way. I'm giving a talk. I'm trying to just make sure I keep a good time. So sorry, Lady Blue Notes, not trying to ignore you. 1 sec. So another tool we could use is Unist. Unist stands for Universal Syntax Tree. And basically, the reason it was created is because there's no specification for a node of your AST, right? There's no actual like law or rule about what needs to be props within a node in your abstract syntax tree specification. So here with Unist, you get at the bare minimum a type, which is a string, data, which is basically like a record or a, like a key value pair. And then position is actually like where this is within your code, right? So it allows you to just simply represent all sorts of bits of your code in a programmatic way, and this node is what you'd use to have to work with within your code. So yeah, pretty nifty stuff, right? But one thing to remember with Unist is that it's not intended to be self-sufficient, right? Instead, it's just to be something that other specifications implement on top of and extend to express their language-specific things. So Unist is not even meant to be JavaScript or TypeScript specific. It's meant to just be a common enough boilerplate to build on top of. So from there, we can recognize that there's tools that build on top of Unist. One of them is HAST, which is for HTML. That'll give us information about like the node type, like the actual like the classes on that node in your HTML DOM, right? It can give you things like the IDs and other attributes. Like all of that stuff can be represented and added to the base AST node type, right? And we can do the same thing for Markdown. It's going to have Markdown specific props. We can do the same thing for XML. Zast is going to have XML specific props. And then Sast for CSS, SCS, and less is going to have those types of specific props. And they all have various like concerns that other things don't need to care about, but they all have a common bedrock of Unist being something they build on top of, which is useful because then you can still use a lot of the same utilities within Unist, right? And let me just point out, in Unist, there's something like 32 utilities for this. And what are those utilities useful for? Well, basically, those utilities could allow you to do like the visitor pattern instead of having to crawl the tree yourself. They could allow you to do a find, instead of the visitor pattern, which is slightly different. But yeah, it's very useful to just like do some of these common operations in a clean way. And there's a library for that very small thing that you can just import as a function to manipulate your Unist AST. Another really cool tool is tsmorph, right? It's mostly useful for transformations. So it's not Unist compatible. It is using the same AST compatibility that TypeScript is using, right? But it's made for actually modifying your code. And again, why would you want to modify your code using tsmorph? Maybe you're doing upgrades from a previous version to a later version. Various things like that. A tool like Piranha from Uber, which identifies stale feature flags, could use tsmorph to remove those like wrapping if statements around some code, right? So various things that way. And then finally, like one really cool tool I want to talk about is Tree Sitter. Tree Sitter is especially nifty because it's not just a TS library, right? It's not something you would just consume from a TypeScript script, right? A little redundant. But you could use Tree Sitter from Rust code. Tree Sitter ships with NeoVim, so if you want to make a NeoVim extension, you can be using Tree Sitter to do some really nifty things. And basically, it's a dependency-free tool so that your runtime library, which is written in C, can be embedded into any application. So no dependencies on Tree Sitter, and based on that, it actually means that it can compile to WASM really easily. So I've actually used Tree Sitter inside of a VS Code extension because they ship a node package that has the WASM compiled parsers right there ready to use for you, which is really cool stuff. So, all that out there, right? What kind of environment do hobbits live in? A habitat. So yeah, more? Is there more to talk about? I thought I just said a lot, didn't I? Well, yeah. We talked about ESLint just a little bit, but ESLint is especially cool. One thing to remember though is when using ESLint, it's a totally different AST structure. I believe ESLint existed before Unist even existed, before Tree Sitter existed, before TypeScript existed, right? ESLint is old enough that they had to create their own AST implementation no matter what, because yeah, that's how they actually analyze your code. So no more Unist, no more TypeScript native. What you end up getting is the concept of selectors. And if you're used to doing DOM query selector stuff, right? Document query selector, selectors are actually going to be really familiar because all you got to do is select the type of node you're looking for within your config for an ESLint plugin, and it will then go find all of those and call your callback function for that node, and then you can navigate the tree from that AST node however you see fit. So you might want to navigate up to your parent nodes. You might want to navigate to children nodes. All that stuff's fine. All it's meant to do is give you a good entry point into your like code's AST to navigate from, which is incredibly useful. I really think it could be a nifty plugin for other AST tools to actually implement the selector approach. So when I was talking about selectors, here's an example of one. I made a tool called Geller. It's about protecting your environment variables or identifying undefined environment variables. But here we see that I'm creating a rule and it only needs to care about member expressions, so process.env, and then we look for, right, the node, and then whether the node itself is env, and we just like operate upon that. So we get this here that does a callback for the node type we're looking at, and we can just simply navigate and manipulate as we see fit. We can read the property, right? The name of the specific thing or the property of the specific thing, and we get all sorts of like really cool navigation abilities. And then here, as an example of using my tool, ESLint now annotates an env var that wasn't defined, which is kind of nifty. So what is the most environmentally friendly video game? Call of Duty. It gets recycled every year. So yeah, here will be a bunch of my citations. I hope you all learned something about ASTs. I hope you're actually thinking about how you could use ASTs within your own projects and workplace. And yeah, if you want to chat about any of this, I'll be at React Summit, and yeah, it'll be good. So then looking at it, 17 minutes. That's way too long. Oh yeah, exactly. Here's the worst part, Ethan. I need to be within like 7 to 10 minutes, I believe. Ooh, nice. Hell yeah, Timbo. Any feedback people want to give besides the fact that I need to like pare it down? Technically responding to a few people, maybe added like 2 or 3 minutes max. Probably not even that much. But yeah, I need to pare this talk down quite a bit. We might have to ditch the jokes. I'm giving a talk at React Summit. The talk is about ASTs. Strip everything but the jokes. There we go, nailed it. Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, the goal is I'm giving a talk about ASTs specifically, right? At React Summit. Technically, it's a recorded talk, but I'm going to React Summit anyway, just to like party and drink and hang out. But okay, I kind of had to pee that whole time, so give me a second. I gotta use the restroom. And Pedro, hey, thank you for that lurk. I'm sorry. That was a long time ago, because I didn't pop out chat and I wasn't seeing it. Yeah, it's recorded, so I can actually like trim stuff as I need to. I think I can do it. For the most part, I think the ESLint part is gonna have to be pared down. I think some of the stuff I talked about with the Lambda and decorators are probably a bit much. Yeah, I stumbled on the explanation a bit. Yeah, you're not wrong there. Real quick though, let me go use the restroom. I'll be right back and I'll answer all your questions. So yeah, sorry Lady Blue Nose. I was just in the middle of that talk. So give me a sec. Okay, I'm back. Sorry for the delay. Oh. Yeah, so November in New York City. Yeah, I guess, is the US one new? Because the other one was in Amsterdam, and I didn't make it to that one. I think a couple other people did. I think Mewtru gave a talk at it. Yeah, timer's gonna keep rolling, that's fine. That doesn't matter. I can reset it whenever. I could have sworn I had some notes, but they're not showing up. And I don't know why, every time I say the word notes, I think of Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Not a big fan of jazz, too many notes. Too many unnecessary notes. Yeah. Which is funny coming from Charlie, because he's the stupid one of the group. But he's like the music virtuoso, which is kind of funny. It's a good show. All right, so yeah. What were some questions I missed? Sorry, everyone. But yeah, basically the talk is trees aren't just foliage. So yeah, I think the more needs to go away. I think I can do just that part. And yeah, we can just get rid of the rest of this. Yeah, that should have been there, but yeah, we're good. Yeah, so this part where we're talking about the TypeScript, I probably talked a little too much about this one. But I think getting rid of that more slide is the move. Right. Montreal, there you go. Yeah, not a bad call. And yeah, Pedro, if you're still out there on YouTube, sorry. Forgot to shout you out. Thank you. All right, so I'm gonna do that one last because I do a bit of a spiel for it. Sure. Yeah, I think in some of the talking I was doing about this stuff, I can talk through a bit of it quicker. But yeah, really just like 4 groups of slides. Okay. So before we do like another rendition, another attempt to try and get it sub 10 minutes, we should come up with some jokes, right? What did the tree do when the bank closed? It started its own branch. How do trees get online? They just log in. How do you identify a dogwood tree? By the bark? Ooh. What type of tree fits in your hand? A palm tree. What's a tree's favorite dating app? Timber? Yes. All right, some of these are really good. Why was the Weeping Willow so sad it watched a sappy movie? Oh, that one's good too. Oh, these are solid. No, the first ones are good. Those are solid. Are you kidding? These are the ones that are starting to get a little lame. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you work on the documentation team, right? Yeah, that's right. I forgot all about that. Yeah, how's that going? Seems fun. Where do saplings go to learn? Elementary school? On the home stretch for the content redo? Awesome. Hell yeah. Infra for the doc site? Do you mean like the build pipelines and stuff? Yeah, with like having to say it without a display of text is gonna be tough. Yeah. What is a tree's least favorite month? September. That one's pretty good. Bruce Springsteen? Oof. Alright. I think the first ones are pretty solid. It started its own branch? Come on. That one's good. Right, chatting? That one's solid. Yeah, I like that one. Ooh, so the dating app one's gonna be tough because I think I want to do the September one instead. We only have 4 that we can do, though. Right? Exactly. All right, so we're gonna need to come up with some gifts for him, but yeah, let's make sure we get the jokes in there. I like the dogwood tree. I like that one. Exactly. Hey, what up, Ripsnake? Yeah, thank you. Thanks for hanging out over on YouTube. If anyone wants to leave me a lurk over there, you'd be helping me out massively. But yeah, basically, I need to finish the slides and everything today so I can record this talk tomorrow. So yeah, that one we gotta replace. I like the Weeping Willow one. Oh, gotcha. Hey, yeah, thank you. I didn't actually realize that was your name. I never would have known. I never would have known. You didn't even have to say it. Actually, I might have. I might have seen it somewhere. But yeah, thanks for the lurk over there. We'll make this a light one. I just want the water. I'm glad I got 2 of these pitchers because I can have one chilling in the fridge on these hot days. I think you're just like north of me a bit, right? Like BC type area. So yeah, are you guys getting like a hot day up there too? Oh, it's not that hot up there? Yeah, we got like a warm one today. Or are you saying no, you're not in BC? Ah, okay, okay. Weather red. Was 8 overnight? Yeah, it's 23 here. Okay, you are. Just double check. Yeah, today it's way too warm. This is too hot for October. Way too hot for October. That's true. Last year sucked too. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I follow Aiden, right? Yeah, totally. All right, so why was the Weeping Willow sad? Sure. Oh, right? Yeah, it used to be so much colder. Really? 23 is nice? I hate it. It needs to be, like, way colder. Yeah, exactly, chatting. That's a good point. I didn't read this one the first time. How do you know when a tree has had too much to drink? It won't stop texting their ex. That one's good. I really like that one. All right, we need some gifts. Let's do that. Let's do it straight from gift. You like being able to wear shorts? I don't even own a pair of shorts. Not like outer shorts. Alright, that one looks alright. That one's gnarly. The Nick Cage. Oh, like the Tinder, the dating app one? That one's not bad, actually. Yeah, we might switch that one out. Yes, we're gonna have to pick our jokes based upon... Yeah, we're gonna have to pick our jokes based upon the memes at this point. Oh shit, hold on, wait, we had a good one for the dog going around the fucking tree with its leash. Here we go. Perfect for a root joke. I'm not worried about the background transparent. Hold on, let's look at the jokes we got. See, tree branch. I think the beer and cigarette one is what we'll use for the tree branch. Yep. Maybe. Alright, so then the other one we have is by the bark. That's the dog one. Palm tree. How is there not a good, like, palm tree gif? Damn it. That one would be good. Honestly, we just need one that's like... I just want it like not the vertical like layout. Sure, that one could work. And last but not least, why was the Weeping Willow sad? Oh, that's right. I forgot to copy that, didn't I? Shit. They really do, yeah, exactly. It watched a sappy movie. Alright, so then last but not least, Crying Tree? Yeah, their search is really just not good. It's not a bad one. I was hoping for like a cartoon or something. Yeah, I think you're right. That one's probably the best we're gonna get. Ooh, that one's not bad. Yeah, I think we're good. All right, so let's get these downloaded. All right, so save image as, here we go. Repos. Branches? Sure. Why not? We'll just save this one anyway. Tree hug. Tree dog. Palm tree. tree sap. Sad tree. All right, so we got that one. Palm tree. I think it's tree dog, yep. And then first one here is tree branch. Branches. All right, let's recompile. Let's try and like trim down this talk a bit more. Hi everyone, I'm Chris, and I'm going to talk today about how trees aren't just foliage. So, a little bit about me. I'm a Twitch streamer. I stream probably too much. I'm a lazy YouTuber. I need to make more videos. And I'm also a senior front-end engineer at Fairwinds. We can actually help you recognize all sorts of stuff about your Kubernetes clusters at scale that maybe you weren't aware of yet. So, I'm going to have some jokes. They're going to make things a little more spaced out. Here's the first one. What did the tree do when the bank closed? It started its own branch. So, what is an abstract syntax tree? Well, there's multiple kinds of syntax trees. There's a concrete syntax tree and an abstract syntax tree. The concrete syntax tree is every single part of a text file, whereas the abstract syntax tree is not concerned with the white space or indentation in a language that doesn't care about them, such as JavaScript, TypeScript. It's only about the significant portions of your code. So it's not even going to worry about where the parentheses are necessarily. It's more about, is this the condition for a thing? So if we look at it a little closer, we can see a statement sequence here, and there's a while loop, and then the condition for that while loop might be compare something not equal to, right? That's the operation for the compare. And then the things that it's comparing are variable name b and constant value 0, right? So by understanding the structure of these things, we don't care where the brackets are. Doesn't matter if there's like a new indentation or a new line or whatever. None of that matters towards what the code actually represents in the languages that we're talking about today. So popular usages of ASTs, well, things we use every day, such as Babel, TypeScript, ESLint, Prettier, TreeSitter, and sometimes things like JS CodeShift. All these tools use ASTs to get the job done. And we'll dig into how they're doing so here in a second. So, how do you properly identify a dogwood tree? By the bark. So, why would we want to use ASTs? Well, we mentioned the tools that are doing them, but the why is basically what those tools were built for. So, compiling or transpiling. Please don't get at me for splitting hairs between those things, but there's a very specific reason to talk about them in this case. Code analysis, editor tooling, and code mods, right? These are all very important things that we use every day, day to day, that make our lives as devs better. So compiling, that might be TypeScript to JavaScript using TSC. That might be a compiler in general, going from C to assembly, or it might even be just converting JSX into React.createElement function calls. All of these things are just compiling one representation of code into a lower level representation of that code. When we think about transpiling, that's usually going from like versions of language rather than like levels of language. And one of the original implementations is Babel. Also, it used to be known as 6.5 because it ported ES6 to ES5. Nowadays, it's just about porting new JavaScript features to browsers that don't support them yet. But again, Babel is something we all use day to day to make sure that our stuff works in every browser. Another important part, code analysis. So ESLint can warn us when we're doing something that's not a good pattern, or maybe a variable isn't used, or all sorts of things. ESLint is using its own implementation of ASTs to do that. Right? And then editor tooling, right? Think some more modern syntax highlighting, not TextMate based, which is regular expressions, but modern editors use syntax highlighting, or use ASTs for syntax highlighting, which is hugely useful because who here is actually good at regular expressions? Not me. Also, tools like Prettier do it for formatting. So they break down our code and then indent it based upon specific rules. They put the parentheses where they think they should be. And all of that is to take away our care about how this stuff gets formatted for us, because all we want to do is write code that does the thing. And then finally, another editor tooling aspect is type annotations. Type annotations are things like inside of any JetBrains editor. You might get like little ephemeral like notes about what a type for a variable is, or if you're doing Dart code or Flutter code, there's a plugin that annotates the end of your like parentheses. I've even written a VS Code plugin that does that for HTML, just because we've all seen like end of main div here type HTML comments. Now we don't need it as part of our code. And then finally, code mods. Think about maybe upgrading from one framework version to another and having some of the easy stuff to fix get automated for you. Angular is one framework that does that. You can use code mods to modify your code in all sorts of really cool ways. Another cool tool that does it is Piranha from Uber, which is actually able to remove some of your feature flag stuff, right? For a stale feature flag, it can remove the entire if statement around your block and then just inline what was inside that block into your code. Boom, right? So making things easier for us, right? Without us having to manually modify that code. So what type of tree fits in your hand? A palm tree. So how do we actually use these things? Well, for the most part, there's going to be various tools you might use to do it. TypeScript or TS, right? Unist, TS-morph, or tree sitter, right? TypeScript is literally TypeScript. And all you need to do is just tell it to load in a file. You can use fs read file sync, get the text encoding of it, pass it to create source file, right? I'm doing this for a bunch of files. And then here, we're just mapping over it to find, I'm currently looking for class declarations, and then looking for some like route metadata on top of it for a very specific use case I have. But basically, I can look at my source code, and this specific thing generates an open API file for me from my Lambda functions, and it's awesome. And then finally, but here's another tool, Unist, Universal Syntax Tree. One thing to remember is that this is very different from the TypeScript syntax tree node style. So what Unist tries to do is create a common abstraction for your nodes for any language's syntax tree. And you might consume Unist from TypeScript, but it's consuming some other language like Go or Rust or whatever. And it's going to represent your code using this common node type. The important thing to recognize is that there's a lot of utilities. There's 32 at the time of speaking right now, right? Find after, flat map, visit for the visitor pattern, all sorts of things to manipulate the tree to save you from having to write that code yourself. One thing to remember though is that the latest version requires ESM support. If you need to support it in a language that doesn't have ESM support, you can just go to an older version of Unist and you're fine. One of the important things, though, is Unist is not intended to be self-sufficient. Instead, it's expected that other specifications implement Unist and extend it to express language-specific nodes. So you'll have a specific version for HAST, which is HTML, a specific version for Markdown, which is MDAST, specific version for XML, which is XAST, and CSS, SCS, and less have SAST. All of these things are going to have props that are very specific to how you want to actually identify code within very specific languages. Another really useful tool is tsmorph. This is going to be useful for code mods because it's all about modifying existing ASTs. But one thing to remember is it is not Unist compatible, but it is TypeScript tree compatible. So basically using tsmorph or TypeScript, you're going to have a very familiar node type to identify and deal with. And then last but not least, one of the coolest tools out there that I've used is TreeSitter. It's dependency-free, written in pure C, so that it can be embedded anywhere, which also means that you can output it to Wasm and use it in things like VS Code extensions or an in-browser editor. Right? So it supports a lot of languages. One thing to remember is the Wasm output doesn't support some languages. Maybe they work now, but last time I used them, some parsers didn't. Ooh, and yes, I forgot one thing, ESLint, right? ESLint is, again, its own AST structure. So, different AST structure, which means no more Unist, no more TypeScript native. And the way it works is actually based upon selectors. So you'll just have the specific node type you're looking for, like a member expression, or like a decorator, or a class declaration, or all sorts of stuff, right? You're gonna just simply have a callback for that specific node type, and then from there you can navigate the tree up and down to parent or child as you see fit. But for the most part, ESLint existed before Unist or TypeScript were mainstream, and it had to just have its own AST structure anyway. So, why was the Weeping Willow so sad? It watched a sappy movie. So yeah, I know I really jumped through, I kind of glanced over a bunch of this stuff. Hopefully I gave you enough keywords and libraries and things that you can look up to actually use ASTs, or at least learn about them and try and help your job be better about various things, and use these ASTs to make some nice cool tools for what you're doing. Thank you for letting me speak. Have a great rest of your day. All right, so there we go. 10 minutes on the dot, and I really glossed over a bunch of shit. Yeah, we might have to get rid of a couple of the dad jokes. The last one I don't think is necessary. Yeah, I think we could get it in 9 minutes. We could ditch the last joke so there's only 3. We could maybe do it so there's only 2. No, keep in mind, this is a pre-recorded talk. So I need to make sure the talk is done today so I can record it tomorrow and I send the recording to you. Yeah, I mean, I probably won't do that, but not a bad idea, Lady Bluehouse. Totally a thing. Doable. We can make it happen. Yeah, I feel like it was wall-to-wall words for that entire thing. But yeah. I could record one with the jokes and one without. Yeah, 10 minutes is super quick, but I think it's actually longer than they intended. I think if I keep it to 10 minutes, we'll be good. I don't think they'll have a problem with it. Yeah. Yeah, for the most part, I'd love to give this talk properly at an event. Oh, and actually, here's something there, Mr. McStees. I actually talk faster when I do the presentation in public. Right? The adrenaline kicks in, and I feel like I'm talking normal speed, but I'm really talking way too fast. So I tend to actually give the talk faster than my pre-recorded version. Yeah, I can see that too. For the most part, I kind of add those rambly things while I'm doing my practice one anyway. $10 minutes. Yeah, maybe, but the company I work for would really, really like me to say what fair winds is. But I could speed it up by making it like a single line. Exactly. Right? I work for Fairwinds, and we can help you manage your Kubernetes clusters, right? In some way. Yeah, so I don't know. I can keep it to like a single line to describe Fairwinds. I think that would be good. So I think that's our takeaway. We're going to record a version of the talk with and without the jokes. I do exit Fairwinds? What do you mean? Like, how could I tie it to the talk? Right? Don't I say senior front-end engineer? That is the I do X. Yeah, it's not relevant to what Fairwinds does. Yes, I did use some ASTs for stuff at Fairwinds, but... yeah, it's not relevant. Yeah, I think really the part that I should pare down is maybe this part. I don't need to dig into the code here. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Ah, you were exposed to Unis through MDX plugins. Yeah. So Remark and a bunch of those things use the Unis structure under the hood. Yeah, good call. Yep. And really, you're probably consuming MDEST instead, right? No, this is for people unfamiliar, Ripsnake. This is not for people that know what ASTs are. This is an introductory talk. For rehype, it would be HAST. Yeah, good call. Pretty much, Ripsnake, you can never assume that people know what you're talking about when giving a presentation. Never make that assumption. It's a bad talk if you do so. Yeah, no worries, Ripsnake. But yeah, for the most part, you can't take for granted that people know what you're talking about. If you're giving the talk, you already know more than the majority of the audience. Yeah, so I'll just record 2 of these tomorrow. I mean, let's go look at it. There's an entire remote day. Yep. Yeah, we went over that, Ripsnake. So yeah, there's the in-person day, and then there's the remote day. I guess maybe there's gonna be some remote stuff on this day too. Yeah, that's not how this works. It's not gonna have like a live Q&A or anything like that. It's just a 10-minute talk they can use to, you know, they're basically using it because they boast 60 plus speakers or whatever in their title, right? It's a numbers game. They just want to do it for that right there. Yep. You definitely should, Randy, yeah, like totally. It's really cool. Here in Seattle JS, if you want to give a talk, they have like a whole like forum to propose and everything. Somewhere, I think. Maybe. They used to. Maybe they don't anymore? Ah, call for presenters. Yeah, here you go. So yeah, if you want to speak at Seattle JS, here you go. There's a forum and everything. Yeah, exactly. She's gonna be talking at React Summit too. But yeah, Josh Goldberg. I think he's part of the reason I even had my talk accepted, because I think he's on the committee. I've partied with Ken Wheeler before. He's fun to hang out with. Yeah, like a lot of people are speaking at React Summit. This dude's talk, seamless web experiences, unlocking app router, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, a lot of people. Ben Holmes is going to be there. That'll be cool. I could have sworn that Trash Dev was going to be here, but I don't see his photo anymore. I've hung out with Taz before. He's super chill. Yeah, Aiden Bai. I've hung out with him before. Yep. Totally different things, Mr. McSteezy. Totally different things. There I am. Heyo. But yeah, I don't see Trash Dev in the list anymore. He might be a TBA, but he used to be in the list. Like, yeah, he was like right up here in relation to where I am. So the fact that he's not there anymore is weird. But whatever. My biggest thing, I get a free ticket to the conference, and it's an excuse to go to New York. Worth it to me. But also I get to go to like the speaker dinner. So I get to like hang out and get hopefully a free meal out of these people. Amsterdam one was June 14th to 18th. This one's in New York. No. I mean, I'm not sure what the dinner entails. I doubt it would actually cover the booze. So I'll probably have to pay for my own whiskey, which is fine. I think this is the first time they've done 2 in a year. I know, exactly. That's kind of funny. That's actually kind of funny. So yeah, here's the thing. We're probably gonna have to do a version without the slides, or without the jokes. No, I need to do nothing actually there, which is perfect. Because I'm probably not gonna wake up early enough for like the first half of the day at the event. When I say probably, I'm definitely not making it to the first half of the event. That's true too. I'd love it if that was actually the reason. But no, I'm going to be partying and hanging out the night before. I'm going to be hungover in the morning. Duh. I don't plan on actually getting back to my hotel room till like 4 a.m. Their time. Especially because of time zones. It'll only be 1 a.m. for me at 4 a.m. their time? Oh, shit. Yeah, I'm going late. We're partying. Yeah, their time. Yeah, exactly. Should be good. No, that's my time. Their time is East Coast bullshit. yeah, for sure. Do you work for a US-based company? Because that would make sense there, Mr. Steezy. Thank you, Justin. Appreciate you. Yeah, no worries. Okay, so, yeah, we put some good work in here today. Kind of happy with it. Could have sworn this used to do a preview of the next slide. Oh, that's it. Notes only. Okay, yeah, cool. That was it. Alright, so I can actually get... Hey, alright, well that ain't right. Wide? Yeah, I think we can just wait on... Like, yeah, I can just give this talk tomorrow and record it before stream. I think we'll be good. Are you thinking of Full Sail? I guess it is a brewery? It's in Virginia? Yeah, I've never heard of it. But yeah, just so you know, trademarks are only industry specific. Or maybe not necessarily trademarks, but like trade names. But yeah, Fairwinds is a bank as well. But again, it's industry specific. Yeah, it just depends. Sure. Yeah. Ooh, here's another thing. Can I comment this stuff? Does that actually work, doing the comment thing? Because I want to make sure I don't accidentally, like, mislead myself on which slide is which. Yeah, so I could just comment the slides for the non-joke version. One thing I'm definitely gonna need to do is make sure I don't have this BS font kicking in. It's funny that it considers Uber bullshit. Actually, no, that's not that surprising. Yeah, I could do one joke at the end. If I were to leave one joke, which one would you prefer I leave? Right, which is the best joke we got? Right, so the bank, the dogwood one, what type of tree fits in your hand, and last but not least, why was the weeping willow so sad? I have no idea, Mighty Dev, because this is a pre-recorded talk. I could do it right after the title. Not a bad option. It's not Widow, it's Willow. Right, so why was the Weeping Willow so sad? It watched a sappy movie. Yeah, I have no idea how they do the YouTube stuff. So the branch joke is too much? Okay. Sure. I think I like the dog joke more than anything. But it requires showing the GIF for like a significant amount of time, right? So the palm tree could be quick. There you go, just leave it alone. I'm thinking I want to do the joke at the end. Yeah, if I cut all the other jokes out, I'm thinking I want to do it at the end. All the non-joke slides. Yeah, someone made that joke already. Yeah, I like it right at the end. So I'm thinking whatever joke we do will be right at the very end of it. And then, thank you, thanks for having me. Hopefully you learned something, blah, 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 right? I think that's the move. It's just too many jokes for such a short talk. Standard. Take it easy, I'm the comedian here. No, that's good call. Good catch. All right, so I'm making an executive decision. It's down to the palm tree joke or the dogwood tree joke. We're gonna put it to a vote for everyone in chat here real quick. So what do we think? I know, yeah, that's the tough one. We've already cut it down in a good way. Right, and I think by just having the one joke, we can leave it in. We don't have to give them... cut down what? There you go. We don't have to even record two, like one with and one without. I think we got time for one joke. Come on, get your votes in, chat. What do you think? And yeah, I'm gonna pour another whiskey. Because that one was super light. Anyone on YouTube, if you got a preference, which joke do you prefer? The dogwood joke or the palm tree joke? I need your help. Because Twitch chat's being jerks about it and they left it at a tie so far. I probably could have predicted this. Yes, because it's pre-recorded. Absolutely. Oh, abso-fucking-lutely I can add a laugh track. Oh, you're not even wrong. Yeah. So yeah, Brotato, that's fine. No worries. Yeah. Yeah, your comment there's totally worth working. Yeah, thanks, Brotato. Bro Chacho. So you like the palm tree one, that counts as a vote for it. That actually evens out the vote, so thanks. So Snake, I bet you already voted though. So we technically have a tie. Hold on. Where is it? Damn, did I somehow lose my golf ball marker? Nope, here it is. Okay, what up, Stream Kyle? How you doing? So yeah, I've got this, right, it's Bob Barker, that's his name. Bob Barker punching Happy Gilmore from the movie Happy Gilmore, and it says, "The price is wrong." I found this, like, seriously, the weekend after he passed away while out golfing. That's serendipity. That's amazing. So, I'm gonna flip this. Heads, obviously that. Tails, the back, right? And a squirrel ate your hot dog? Brutal. Like, was that over, Wait, were you getting a hot dog at a Seattle golf course? That wasn't Inner Bay then, right? Yeah, where was that at? It was a public course. Okay. Yeah, Inner Bay is just like a par 3 course, like 9 holes of just par 3s. I'm guessing it wasn't that one. But okay, we're gonna flip this coin. Heads. Oh, maybe in Bellevue? Okay, yeah, the Bellevue course, like the Bellevue Public Golf Course. That one's good. That one's solid. It's like right across the way from like, technically like the Microsoft area, right? No, it's got a backside too. Yeah, was it like right across the street from Microsoft? Like a couple blocks away? Because that's technically the Bellevue Public Golf Course. I don't know why. No, that makes sense. Yeah, that's a good course. I like that one. Willows is right nearby. Willows has gone way downhill. Right? Their putting greens fucking sucked last time I was there. But okay, we're going to flip this coin. Heads, we do the palm tree joke because it won the vote here on Twitch. Tails, we do the dogwood joke. However it landed on the ground is how we do it. Tails! I guess I should probably catch it just to make it fair, right? All right, let's catch it. That way y'all can see, okay? Again, same thing. Heads, palm tree joke. Tails, dogwood joke. God damn it. Okay, so I can't catch. Here we go. It keeps rolling off, okay? It's not a properly balanced coin. Tails. Does it only ever land tails up? Maybe it is like a Harvey Dent style coin. Okay, no, see, it goes heads up from time to time. All right, this is the official one. Here we go. Last one. No takesy backsies. So yeah, we're doing the dogwood joke. That's all there is to it. Now hold on. Is there like a good like React code mod library? It seemed like a hole in my hand. There you go. Right. Okay. So for the code mods, I can dig into that. All right. We can add in etc to that, etc. Yeah. All right. I think we have a pretty solid talk for 10 minutes. Thank you for the follows, Sook and Marcelo. Yeah, thank you for the follows. Welcome. So yeah, I think my talk's as good as it's gonna get. I need to just record it tomorrow morning and call it good. Yeah, I think we're set. So, hold up. For tomorrow, what do we want to do? Right? I'm going to be coding here tomorrow. What are we going to be working on? Which SDK next? Oh. Let's do another poll real quick before we finish up. So which SDK next? PHP? Ruby? Let's go look at the list of what we got so far. So yeah, PHP, Ruby, Python. From there, the Lua, the Dart, and the Elixir are kind of like all equally as obscure. So I'm going to throw Elixir because that's my choice. And then from there, it's either Lua or Dart. You're right, Java should be there. We started working on the Java one. We just don't have it, like, published, so we didn't put it in that list yet. Kotlin would be a good option. I think I want to opt for something a little less type strict for the next one, just to, like, free my mind a bit. So, Lua versus Dart usage, statistics. Python's up there. Java would be a good one. C# trauma? No, like the past 3 we did were very strictly typed. So it's not C# trauma, it's just, you know. I'd like to have more examples of loosely typed languages. right? For other people that want to implement their own. I mean, in that case, Bob, if I'm looking for contributors, Clojure is not the move. Kotlin, could Kotlin be used inside of Clojure? If so, then yeah, Kotlin's what I would end up using. Because again, I need to make stuff that other people are willing to contribute to. Yeah, no worries, JLux. Yeah. A Swift Objective-C one would be on the list eventually, too. So between Lua and Dart, sure, why not Lua? All right, so we'll see what the next version that we work on is. Honestly, Java Kotlin should be way up there. But we'll take a break from strictly typed languages just for a bit, and then we'll get to it. Like, all of them need to be made, so the order in which we do them is actually less important. So yeah, we got a couple minutes to sip some whiskey and hang out and chat. It's a little bit of a bummer that Elixir is nowhere to be found in this list. But that's fine. So 55 people here and nobody has, like, seriously, we've had 4 people vote. Come on, lurkers. Get your votes in. Refresh if you don't see the poll. Colton, you said you voted for PHP, but you haven't voted yet. Yeah, no worries. Just not very many votes for how many people are here. So yeah, a lot of lurkers, which I appreciate. Green threads? There's nothing that needs threading with what we're doing. So there will be no green threads at all. Rock the vote, man. Just don't do what Chris Farley did in Black Sheep. What he yelled was not okay. So Brotato is shouting out Lua. So there's 2 people voting for Lua, basically. Robotech, like, just refresh and the vote thing should be there. Elixir won. All right, so tomorrow we start working on the Elixir SDK. Yeah, I don't mind. I've done a bunch of Elixir before, actually, so I'm good with it. But we've basically finished what we're doing today. I need to make a sandwich. No, it's fine, Robotech. I gotcha. I need to make a sandwich and play some games with Robotic Head. That'll be happening over on Gaming Stream. If anyone wants to hang out on Gaming Stream, it's just that one right there. Dude, that was a good emote, Bob. Whose emote is that? Dude, that's a solid emote. And yeah, the sandwich emoji. I forgot we had that gif. Well, now I'm not hungry anymore. Oh yeah, I Play Games had one hell of a night and gifted a lot of subs. Like, whoa. But okay, so tomorrow we start working on the Elixir client. I'll probably be able to finish that pretty quick. Right? Because it's dynamic enough that I think we'll be good. I think I might have to figure out some good idiomatic patterns for Elixir. Because I'm not sure any of the Elixir I ever wrote was actually idiomatic. But, meh. Whatever. So hold up. Who's streaming right now? Benton Dev? I don't think I've rated them before. A lot of game dev going on right now. The Coppinger's going. He's awesome. That's an option. Sika Player's going. That's an option. Nikwan's going on a totally separate channel. Interesting. Oh, you know what? We're gonna go raid Justin Musty. Yeah, let's go do that. Yeah, we're gonna go do that. Yeah, he threw a lurk over on the YouTube and everything. He's awesome. So yeah, we're gonna go raid Justin Musty. He's working on some Python Django stuff. Are you trying to reach him about his car's extended warranty? According to his title? So yeah, he's doing some API dev. We're gonna have to figure out a little bit more about what that means. And yeah, again, if anyone wants to hang out with me on Gaming Channel, there it is. I'll be over there right after the raid. I'm gonna make a sandwich while we watch like one episode of Red Dwarf, and then after that episode of Red Dwarf, we play some Wasteland 3 with Robotic Head. It'll be kind of fun. Wasteland 3. Oh, it's gonna be a fat sandwich. It's gonna be good. So yeah, let's go raid on over there. And yeah, tomorrow might be a longer stream. Unless I can convince some friends to like, you know, game with me tomorrow night. But yeah. I can record this talk tomorrow morning and then have that monkey off my back. So I'm looking forward to that. See you guys over on the raid. See you over on gaming. See you tomorrow.